give you the green light. They're so ready to go. Um, Welcome. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Uh, as it says on your program, this is the first annual Percussion Ensemble Night. One of the things that happened to me when I was their age playing in concerts, either percussion or band, was I always go to my parents after the concert and say, "What'd you think? What'd you think? Could you see me?" And my mom or dad would be like, "Yeah, I couldn't really see you." So this is the perfect chance for you to make sure that you see your student playing up close and personal. So if you want to get up and if they're on the stage and they're playing and you don't like the angle and you can't quite see them, get to where you can see them. Okay? It is a little more informal. I know we're on a stage and I'm talking to a mic, but it's a little more informal than just a normal band concert night. So the other thing that my dad would always say is, "Why didn't you smile?" And so they're going to do their best to smile and look like they're enjoying it because they really do love this. And you'll do your best to make sure you can see them because they want to perform for you. Um, so thank you, the parents of some of the older kids. This is the first time this has happened. Thank you for being flexible. I know this is new, but I think you'll find that as the years go on, this kind of night with this kind of music will pay dividends in your child's education in music. It's really important for them to get to play on their own and in small conducted ensembles and also chamber ensembles. So, without further ado, this is the Helen Tyson Middle School percussion class, and they're going to start with No Drums Allowed. Today at 6 was the first time they've all practiced on stage. And so the first time we've also practiced moving from piece to piece. So we're going to do our very best to keep the music coming and keep you watching them move instruments down to a minimum. also play 2 songs. They're just divided up a little bit differently. So we'll have a group of, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one of 6. Okay, we're going to start with Tostones. During their 7th grade year, which is the first year for beginning instrument classes, we concentrate a lot on 2 main instruments, the snare drum being one, and any mallet percussion instrument. That could be bells, that could be xylophone, that could be a marimba. The percussion family is extensive and uses a lot of instruments, as you know, but those are the 2 that require the most attention because of the difficulty and kind of the learning curve of all the new techniques. Also, as you could see from the very first song, No Drums Allowed, put a lot of emphasis on just developing a lot of coordination with the limbs, getting the feet moving, keeping time with your foot, getting both hands really mobile and flexible. And these students, both on the second piece that Helen Tyson did and both of these Hellstrom pieces and all the junior high pieces they've had for about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, which to balance between their other music and concert band is a pretty tall order, and they've handled it really well. Next year I'll make sure I get the music to them earlier and schedule this further in advance. I just, when I realized there was a night we could have for percussion ensemble, I jumped on it, because I think it had a huge impact on me growing up, and I know it will for them too. So I do apologize that it was short notice, and thank you so much for allowing them to be here, because it's really helping their growth in percussion. This is a really fun song that features some stick visuals. You'll notice it's just snare drum, but a lot of neat visuals to go with it. play on Winding River, would you please come up? The next school featured tonight will be Southwest Junior High. You notice some pieces, there's no conductor. We call that chamber playing. And there's some pieces that does use a conductor. It has nothing to do with the skill level of the group. It has everything to do with the difficulty of the piece. Maybe there's a lot of tempo changes. Maybe there's a lot of different entrances of players. So I conduct the ones I feel like are really difficult and they need me on to help them through it. Just because of the difficulty of the piece. If a group can chamber play it, if it can be student-led, I want it to be. So that's why you'll see some groups just student-led tonight. Central Junior High, please come on up. Hurry. I know for a fact the Southwest Junior High Band concert is Monday evening, the 19th. And if you like that performance of Lost Souls that symphonic band kids did, you can see it again that night. We'll do an encore performance for you. Michael, if you'll get set, and teamwork people, go ahead and start heading that direction. It is Taiwan Kelson's birthday, the young man that was playing xylophone over here. So if you catch him later, wish him a happy birthday. What a better way to celebrate than with all his friends, right? This is not usually an avenue, or I guess in the future won't typically be an avenue for solos. There's a great festival, typically in February, March, or April. The date changes down in West Fork for solo work, which is when kids usually do this. But Jamichael literally never puts the sticks down from his hands. I don't know how he eats with them and sleeps, but he does somehow. So he asked me, Mr. Morris, may I please play a solo? To which I agreed. So we have a little bit of a Wizard of Oz moment. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. I'm going to let them keep setting up because they've got a lot. Pay attention to Mr. Harvey. He's going to play a solo for you called Coast to Coast. I know what all the students are thinking, and the answer is the end of your 9th grade year. That's when you can start playing with traditional group, because at the end of the 9th grade year, they're getting ready for entrance into high school. The high school does use the traditional grip, which is the left-hand grip you saw Jermichael use, okay? But the match grip, which is how you see most of the kids play, is what we use for 7th grade, 8th grade, and most of 9th grade, because it applies to so many instruments, not just snare drum, but all the keyboard instruments you see in any other accessory instrument. 8th grade is a really exciting time because that's when you can start to try out for things like honor band, start to go to a solo and ensemble festival nearby. It's usually in West Fork, which this year, the solo and ensemble is in February. So I'll probably, if your student is continuing, you'll start to see some solo literature come home in the fall so that they have enough time to work on it and get it ready to be judged in February. The junior highs do have marching bands, but the main curriculum for percussionists in 8th or ninth grade is the concert instruments. The marching bands do get some techniques done on the marching instruments, but it's not the majority of their curriculum for the fall semester. In high school, it is for the fall semester. They have to be mainly on the marching instruments just because of high school football and how big of a event that is. But they juggle it really well. Here's Teamwork by one of our Har-Ber percussion ensembles. If you're a parent, you might be thinking, all right, Mr. Morris, this is cool, but if I come back next year, am I going to have to listen to the same songs? The answer is no. I'm furiously and frantically trying to get my hands on as much literature as I can at every band director trip I go to, or just online shopping to get as much interesting and relevant percussion music for them as I can. So, unless you've got little ones coming that might be coming through up the program, you shouldn't hear the same songs from year to year. First of all, I would grow weary of that, and I know that they would too, to hear the same songs. Even though the world of percussion is relatively young, 100 years old, which is young, there's plenty of music out there, really from the 1960s and on, to just keep doing new stuff for them every year. After this song, you'll be dismissed. I'd love to meet you if we haven't met before and talk. I hope your student, if they're not considering staying, I wish that it would be a consideration. I think from tonight, you see my level of commitment to them from the beginning through the finish. If they stay on the west side of Springdale, I'll still be their teacher for 6 years. And I think that that they'll get a lot out of it. College scholarships are usually thrown around. That is great. If they stay with me, yes, they're getting a scholarship to college if they want to play. But that's not just it. This is such a great medium for teaching a lot of discipline and character, responsibility, and not to mention music just has the power to touch your soul in a positive way, and it affects young people in a really great way. So I encourage you to stay with music and percussion. You heard Reagan Hope playing marimba on the last tune. She's one of our graduating seniors. She was in the middle. She's going to Missouri State to play in the drum line. This ensemble features 3 of our graduating seniors: Jake Washakowiak on bongos, Tanner Mackey on toms, and Jermichael Harvey on bass drum and gong. I'll do a plug for some things that your student can buy or you can buy. A lot of what's taking a long time between songs is them scrounging for mallets and sticks, and they're using mostly mine for my personal collection. So if you are interested in buying your son or daughter some sticks or mallets for Christmas, birthday, summer gift, I can give you a list of great things to buy, and that way they won't have to rely on old Mr. Morris for sticks and mallets. I think we're ready. With all the long concerts in your past and in your future, 50 minutes is pretty good. Thank you so much for coming out. You are dismissed. Safe travels home.